Say what needs to be said. Well, we say what needs to be said so you can say what needs to be said. Friday Night Vibes, we back in the building. Welcome back to the show. It's your host, Asante Mr. Pick Six Samuel. We're in the building tonight. 50 interceptions in 10 years. They bucking me for the Hall of Fame. They don't like my swag. They don't like the way I talk that mess. And I keep it coming. And that's just how it is, man. Now Bill Belichick's on the sideline. And he could talk all the mess he wants and attack Gerard Mayo and talk about how terrible the Patriots is. But they don't want to give Mr. Pick Six his respect and all that stuff because he like to say what needs to be said so you can say what needs to be said. And you can understand, baby. We in the building tonight. It's Friday Night Vibes and I'm turned up and I'm feeling good, baby. I'm feeling better than ever, man, in South Florida. How y'all feeling out there, man? Y'all say what's up to me in the chat. Say what's up to me in the chat, man. We're going to get into a few things here tonight, man. We're going to talk about the game. Got to recap the game. And the secondary, because the secondary was a big problem, a huge problem in that game last night. We want to talk about Tua's return and concussions and the things that people may not understand what's going on or might not want to speak about. A lot of people just want to be positive and continue to be positive. No, not Mr. Pick Six. Positivity only takes you a long way. You got to face reality in life. Reality is the number one factor, you know what I mean? And then we're going to talk about that first date, a man first date with a woman, what the expectations, how much to spend, so on and so forth. So we got a few things to get into tonight, man. On Say What Needs to Be Said. Mr. Pick Six in the building. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Just cooked for the kids and all that good stuff. And we're almost in November. We're almost in November. November, then December comes Christmas. And let me tell you, Christmas is a happy time, but it's one of the craziest times for me because I have 5 girls. And yeah, I got to spend that bread. Say what needs to be said. Well, we say what needs to be said so you can say what needs to be said. Vikings versus Rams. That was kind of an interesting game. Right? Vikings versus Rams. And I didn't expect the Rams to come out and compete the way they did last night against the Minnesota Vikings. I know y'all didn't expect that. Or did y'all? Am I missing something? Because they did beat San Francisco in the beginning of the year, and then a lot of players got hurt. You know what I mean? But with the 2-4 record coming in that game, 4th in the NFC West, I didn't expect this type of game from the LA Rams against the Vikings, man. I did not expect that. But you can't ever count out Matthew Stafford. You can't never count out Matthew Stafford, especially when he's hitting on all cylinders. No matter what team he's playing for, when he's hitting on all cylinders, he can't be stopped. Matthew Stafford is the Allen Iverson at the quarterback. He's hot and cold. But when he's hot, oh, man, he is on fire, man. He's that streaky type of quarterback. And he's not scared to sling the ball. He's gonna sling it around. Now, last night was a prime example of how well Matthew Stafford can play at times. Like I said, he's a streaky quarterback. He can really play good at times. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, he's getting on the older side. Or am I being deceived and he just has all his weapons back? Matthew Stafford has all his weapons back in the Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell. You got Cooper Kupp. Was that the reason? Because if that was the reason, man, this team is a legitimate team. If all he needed was his weapons and they're going to go back and they're going to be looking awesome like they did last night, man, this is an underrated team that nobody's expecting. And everybody's sleeping on. Like I said, they did beat the 49ers. But Matthew Stafford's legs, man. Matthew Stafford tries to take off with the ball. And them legs ain't going for it. When Matthew Stafford tried to take off with the ball and start running that football, them legs like, no way, sir. You are 36 years of age. Slow down, buddy. You need to chill. There's not enough blood flow running through these legs for you to be taking all off like that. That's why he's stumbling after like he about to take off, or after the first couple of times taking off, his feet got up under him. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, Matthew Stafford, you can't be taking off with that ball, baby, at the age of 30, 36. It ain't like it used to be back in the days. Big Gorillas is coming after you, man. They is coming. Now, the Vikings losing 2 straight games in a row. The Vikings have lost 2 straight games in a row and heading into the bye week. They are headed in the wrong direction. And there was a lot of expectations for the Vikings this year after Sam Darnold's success and what have you and things like that. But only a small percentage of teams that lost 2 games in a row and became a champion after starting 5-0 hot, starting off so hot, looking very dynamic and unstoppable, really, right? Now, after those 2 losses in a row, the pressure gets real tight up in the player coach's facility, if y'all understand. I mean, every position coach is trying to figure out how to threaten their players, their position, their position, the players that they position, and so on and so forth. I remember Eric Mangini after we lost to the Buffalo Bills my rookie year, 31-0, after we just cut Malloy, and he was over there at the Buffalo Bills, and he came in the stadium, it was rocking. And after that game, coach came in there and was like, I'm not sure who's going to be around tomorrow and who's not, man. So let's just go to work, put our head down, and so on and so forth. The pressure was so tight up in the building. The pressure was so tight, man. If you had to do everything right. You had to be studying your book. You had to know exactly what plays to expect, the tendencies, and he would test you on these things. And if you didn't get it right, that might be your butt. You might be gone in the next day or the next couple of days. You know what I mean? But here's the Vikings issue. The Vikings issue is they need to fix their secondary issues. If they want to take the next step in the playoffs, that secondary, man, the secondary is the weakness for the Minnesota Vikings. If y'all didn't see or understand. Now, the old man, Stephon Gilmore, he can still get the job done. He's still playing at a high level. Don't get it twisted. Him and Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy, though, he probably played one of his most outstanding games. But he only can make a play if the ball is thrown right to him. That's what it looks like to me. Brian Murphy only going to make a play if the ball is thrown right to him or it's a badly thrown ball. But that was his best game of his career so far, for what it looks like to me. And that was his first interception of the season for Byron Murphy, the other cornerback on the other side of Stephon Gilmore. So clap it up for Byron Murphy. Got his first interception of the year, man. We can't take those things for granted. He got 1 interception, and he had like 2-3 pass breakups that game. So he did pretty good. But I need you to make plays on the ball when the ball isn't just a bad throw or thrown right to you. I need you to break on some of those perfect passes, go get that ball, and you feel it. You know what I mean? But the secondary was all over the place last night. When the Rams motioned the receiver, whether it was in or outside of the formation, Vikings secondary didn't have a clue how to adjust. It seems like the DBs were keeping adjustments a secret or to themselves or something. Instead of communicating to each other, the DBs, let everyone expect to know what coverage we're about to run. It seemed like no one was on the same page, and everyone was second guessing themselves, looking at each other for the answer. But no one would step up and take control and communicate. As soon as a receiver is off the line and he starts his motion, you got to start singing, hey, motion, to let everybody be alert, let them know that that receiver is coming. And when he comes, the coverage may change. We need to make some adjustments. But, they got secondary, got caught in some bad predicaments on those motions because of communication. Y'all don't understand, communicating is one of the biggest things at defensive back because there are so many intricate parts that need to be played. And we're the last line of defense. If we don't have things right, then what happens? Touchdown. You know what I mean? Touchdown. So if the Vikings can somehow muster up some better defensive back play, they will be a much, much better team. They're already a really good team. I think they're like number 30th in pass defense, which is not good at all. But they can get better. Now, Sam Darnold, man. Sam Darnold. I can't say enough about Sam Darnold. He started off that game like he was going to have an MVP performance. Yeah, Sam Darnold, man, he was very impressive starting off the game. He didn't pull it off. He didn't pull off the victory. This is 2 losses in a row. That is very bad. That is very bad. But Sam Darnold, man, he came out stroking, man. He came out stroking. He was going toe to toe with Matthew Stafford. They was going back and forth, running that offense. Very balanced run pass offense, and yeah, they were scoring. But the trouble started for Sam Darnold when his left tackle went down. Y'all seen that when the left tackle went down. Rams defensive end, Jared Verse, man. Jared Verse gave that line hell. Yes, number 8, the defensive end for the LA Rams. He gave that line hell, especially that after that injury to the defensive offensive tackle. Sam Darnold's left tackle. Man, it was wild out there. And the way when the backup came after the injury, the way they backup was getting manhandled, I can't even see a chip block coming from a running back to help that left tackle because that bull rush was so powerful from Jared Verse. A chip block coming off, in the run in the backfield, you coming off and you chip block to try to get. I don't even see that helping that young man at that moment because the way he was getting bull rushed and power rush, it was. He put on a clinic, man. He put on a clinic. He just looked powerful. That's what it looked like to me. Jared Verse looked powerful. Very powerful. But that was the game, man. Next week we got Aaron Rodgers and I don't who they play. Who the Jets play Thursday night. It's gonna be an interesting game. Everybody's waiting to see the Jets and what the freak Aaron Rodgers is gonna do. He's gonna get his head out his butt finally. You know what I mean? But let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa, right? We got Tua Tagovailoa, man, and Tua Tagovailoa is in the NFL. He's trying to pursue his dreams. His dreams did come true. I'm sure he has more dreams than just making it to the NFL, right? And Tua is expected to start this week against the Cardinals after suffering a concussion, not just regular concussion, one of those concussions that didn't look like your normal everyday concussions. And it was scary. It was scary. We got to keep it real. We got to call a spade a spade. And understand, once you get one of those concussions, that person is prone to more and more concussions. That's just the way it is. Wear and tear. Wear and tear, that's the way it is. That hit or tackle that gave Tua his latest or last concussion, it was not a very vicious tackle at all. It was not a vicious hit. He didn't get hit very hard at all. Now, he's coming back Sunday, and all eyes are going to be on Tua. I see people trying to be positive and keep a positive mindset, but imagine one of those big 350-pound defensive linemen get a hold of Tua and slam him hard on his back. You know what I mean? Imagine that happen. That can get real scary and ugly. We praying for the best and we hoping for the best now. You know what I mean? But anybody watching that Dolphins game this week can feel worried for Tua, man, for Tua, especially when he has to try to scramble, when he attempts to run the ball, or when he's just plainly about to get tackled. It can get real scary for Tua. Concussion is one of the most underrated injuries we have in NFL because you can't really see the injury. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you might see a person knocked out, and it's not like a gruesome injury where you have a broken arm or a broken leg and things like that. Concussion just pounds and pounds on you, makes you, it messes with your mood, your psyche and things like that. You understand? And you don't even know that you're messed up. But like, put yourself in Tua's shoes, right? Or, put yourself in Tua's shoes. You work hard to make it to the NFL. This is your dream. You make the big payday. You're a starting quarterback. The life is just wonderful, right? Now you dealing with these concussions. The third concussion that we know of, it looks awful. It wasn't even a vicious hit. Now y'all talk to me. I need to know from the audience, how many people would turn down the money not to continue football because they are scared for their health from suffering multiple concussions? How many people would turn down the money? I know, obviously there are going to be a few, and some people say they would turn it down, and some people say they won't. I would like to hear. I would like to know, but I need to know honestly because I know 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't let that stop me from playing until the doctor said I couldn't play anymore. Simple as that. This is my dream. This is my livelihood. This is how I plan on taking care of my family. I don't really understand anything else at this moment. So I got to take that chance to take this risk and let somebody come in my life and make me understand something different. Because all I know is football. And we've been doing this for 25, you know, most pretty much 90% of our life. So we don't really understand anything else. And then just to say no and they want to take it right away from us, that's really tough for us to deal with. You know what I mean? So how many of y'all would give up football and you know what I mean? Because you're scared of your health. Now, right now, I'm still dealing with side effects of post concussions as we speak. It's not easy. Every day you have mood swings, you have headaches, can't remember a lot of things, and so on and so forth. It's like you got to try to retrain your brain again, get clarity, reading books. You got to continue to challenge yourself, just like any other person. But I think all that wear and tear is it's a lot that be going on. Right? I don't even think we are able to regenerate our brain cells, make our brain better once it's taken, you know, those type of hits and wear and tear. Now I know you can enhance your knowledge and challenge yourself, which helps keep your what's the word I'm looking for? Your spark plugs helps keep your spark plugs going in your head, but once it get bad. The older we get, man, the older we get, ain't no way around it. The older we get, it's just like an old car. It's going downhill from there. You start off in your prime whenever you hit your prime, and then boom, you start going downhill. Whether it's slowly but surely, or it could go down rapidly. It just all depends on the person and how well they're taking care of themselves. You know what I mean? Now, Mr. 123 is going to be back. If y'all don't know who Mr. 123 is, that's Tua Tagovailoa. And then what I mean by Mr. 123 is Mr. 123 and Coach Mike McDaniels will make sure Tua Tagovailoa is getting that ball out very, very quickly, super fast. And he will be dreading that moment when he finally gets some full contact. And when that moment comes, he will feel good. He'll feel better about himself, especially if he gets up feeling good, healthy, and nothing's wrong. You understand? So, I mean, I know he's waiting on that moment. I know he's waiting on that moment. But is it smart for Tua to continue to play football? Is it smart? Is it smart? You know what I mean? Is it smart for Tua to continue to play football? And shit, it all depends on how you look at the overall spectrum of life, your wants, needs, and things like that, you know? And Mike McDaniel stated today that Tua, of course, took numerous amounts of doctor visits. I can only imagine the amount of rigorous tests and things like that they put Tua Tagovailoa through to make sure that he's A-okay to play and things like that. But zero of those doctors, by way of Mike McDaniels, recommended that he never played football again. And of course, that's a great sign when you hear that, and that's what you want to hear as a football player. You don't want to hear you can't play football anymore and things like that. And so he got what he was looking for. He got the answer that made him feel great. Now, like I say, question to the audience. Do you think this is foolish for Tua to take another chance with his health and continue to play football to build wealth? Or is that more important than being content? Or is being content more important with what you're already blessed with from the game of football and what you have so far in life, and realizing it's time for me to start another chapter in my life? You understand? Is it smart for Tua to continue? And my thing is, we all get concussions. We all get concussions. But the type of concussion that Tua had, or the contact from that concussion that caused that concussion, it didn't look normal. I played football for a long time. That didn't look like your average type of concussion. You know what I mean? Understand what I'm saying? And when I say health, man, when I say Tua's health, I mean there's no way to tell how somebody is and they have CTE or concussions, and you can't really, like I say, see the effects. So we have to look at the older players before us, after us, or before us, so we can see the life that they live and the way they talk, the way they walk, their equilibrium, their quality of life, how they treat their family, and so on and so forth. No side effects. We got to understand what our life is heading to and what life will be like if something tragic happens again, and this might be his or mine or whoever last time playing football. There's a lot of things you have to look at and understand. You understand? And once Tua steps out on the football field, you got to understand, once Tua steps out on the football field, it's all fair game. All that concussion stuff, what happened before that, nobody cares anymore. Yeah, we care, quote unquote, but as far as the game go, me trying to win against you, nobody cares. The defense will feel no pity for anyone that is the ball carrier or has the ball in their hands at the time when that game is going on. The defense is the closest thing you can get to a legal bounty hunter. You know what I'm saying? They wanna off you. Like I say, one slam to the ground from one of them 350-pound linemen, man, can get very interesting. If he get right up, dang, that would be a great sign, you know? But we're gonna see. And Tua's offensive line, man, they have tremendous amount of pressure on their hands to protect Tua. You know, that's where all the pressure is going to come from. And I can imagine in practice, coach probably trying not to apply all that pressure to the defensive offensive line, but you have to, because this is what's at stake. You got to protect the quarterback at all costs, you know? And maybe this game will consist of a lot of run and screen passes, like we say, quick passes, get the ball out because of what is at stake for Tua Tagovailoa, you know? Now, like I said, I expect Tua Tagovailoa, Mr. 1, 2, 3, to get that ball out very quickly and try to avoid some of those hits and blitzes and things like that. But all we can do is pray, man. We can pray for Tua and hope, he stays healthy. We can act brave and tough all we want, but ultimately the decision is left up to us players, man, and we have to deal with the consequences from our decisions, whether they're good or bad, because we're making this decision. It's up to us. What would you do? How would you do it? Let's see what we got in chat. Just want to take the time to let you know I'm a proud Eagles fan and wore 22 because of you. When I was young, it was like every pick up had you took it back for 6. Thanks for what you did to that Cameron. Salute to Cameron. Yeah, man. I love representing for Philly. That number 22 Deuce here. We got to throw it up. Deuce here. You know what I mean? We just don't see the type of plays anymore that I was making. Turnover king, turnover machine. They trying to downplay interceptions because they can't pub anyone up about interceptions like we used to do back in the days. Champ Bailey, myself, Robert Cromartie, having 10 interceptions in the season. So salute to the Eagles, man. Shout out to Kareem coming through. You know what I mean? Now, Tua's going to be concerned about the possibilities of everything that can help him next. But, we all want Tua to live out his dream and remain healthy. And we'll see how that goes. But meanwhile, Tyreek Hill is over there psyched up about his quarterback's return. And he is psyched up because you know why? Because he wasn't getting that ball. And he needs to get that ball to shine so he can be Tyreek Hill and do his little, tricks and trade and things like that. But when he don't get that ball, Tyreek boy turned into that little man syndrome come out. He can't control it. He needs Tua to come back so he can get that ball. You know what I mean? We've seen his frustration on the sidelines in games when Tua wasn't there. We've seen that frustration. But this is not one of those situations where it's necessary to promote, persuade, conjure, motivate Tua at all. This is a scary situation for Tua. And he has to be fully understanding and willing to go out there and do what he needs to do for the game of football and not be persuaded, motivated, and things like that. He needs, this can be, very detrimental to life. And we only could hope and pray for to it. And, this is a game of football. This is our fraternity. You understand? You know what to do. Say what needs to be said. Mr. Pick Six in the building now. First date. Now, I hear this subject, come up a lot. And I want to talk about it. And I'm not talking about your first date. I'm talking about you just met a new person, spouse, things like that, right? And y'all go on a date. The first date. How much should a man spend on his first date, if anything? Let me know. Chat, talk to me. How much should a man spend on his first date, if anything? Like I said, I hear this topic come up a lot, and I hear the same tune from men when it comes to how much they spend on the first date. And a man is trying to spend $40 if possible, and that's that's cool. To each his own. Everybody has their own right and freedom to do things how they want to do. But for me, when I go out or hang out, whatever you want to call it, a date, so on and so forth, for me, first and foremost, I'm going out, whether it's with somebody or it's by myself, I'm going out to make sure me, myself, and I have a good time and enjoy myself first. Now, if the person with me don't want to enjoy themselves, whatever, I'm not finna let them mess up my mood. You know what I mean? So we got to get that out the way first. I'm going out to enjoy myself, whether I'm taking somebody with me or not. You know what I mean? Now, if I was on the dating scene right now, going out on dates, whenever, however, the budget for me right now probably would be, let me see. I would imagine the budget would be probably about $350, $300 to $400, something like that. That's if I'm going to South Beach and on a nighttime vibe. I go to South Beach to hang out. But we ain't talking about no lunch date. We talking about late night, hanging out, vibing, a few drinks and things like that, getting tipsy. Now, if I'm going to be taking women out on dates 2 or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, that number going to come down a little bit. I'm talking about every once in a while, and my bill is included in that bill if you didn't understand that. Don't get that twisted. My drinks, my food, and everything is included in that $250. I'm probably going to have me at least 3 straight Casamigos on the rocks. So I'm going to have 3, no chaser, Casamigos on the rocks. Yeah, that's probably how it's going to go. So my tab is going to be hefty in that 350. You know what I mean? But don't be out here trying to impress anybody, man. Don't be out here just trying to impress somebody and you can't keep up with what you started. I think that's one of the worst things you can do is give a false sense of reality. You out here first date, you trying to splurge, make a woman feel like you can do this, that, and the other, make her feel like you are the king, the savior that she's been looking for. In the first couple of dates, you flagging, you got it going, you flagging hard, right? And then you can't keep it up. And then you feel like she putting pressure on you because she had expectations of what you showed in the beginning. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You can play games. Everybody has their own way of swagging and dating and stuff like that. But hey, man, just go and keep it real. Keep it 100 with your date. You ain't got to be out here flagging. It's a cool little flag. But if you're trying to be serious and you want that woman to trust you and have some trust back, you got to understand how to keep it 100 with your spouse. And then it all depends on where you're going and things like that. Now, I remember my first date. My first date was with my wife, but it was a lunch date. I don't remember exactly how much we spent. This was probably back in 2005 or something like that. Our first date was lunch date. It spent no more than $140. And no, she didn't offer to pay. And she probably would never pay on the first date because that ain't her nature. She's very, very frugal. And it all depends on what age brackets we're talking about. The young adults are still trying to find their way in life, so their experiences are a little bit different. The young folks are wow. I hear that it's all about the men ain't putting it up with no more. They talking about women need to go 50-50. What do I need to be doing for you for? And it just seems like the man just has all the leverage these days. Of course, it's because it's 5-1 out here, but yeah, it's tough for the women. It's tough for the women. The young generation dating scene, man, they all over the place. They all over the place. They don't know if they want to date the same sex. They don't know if they want to. They don't want to know, what race they want to date, which is fine. Whatever race you date. They don't understand what type of relationship they want to have. Or they want to be serious with, as boyfriend and girlfriend. We're just friends, or what. They just confused, and they don't have nowhere to learn but social media. And that's the sad part about it. And they just looking at social media. You know, social media help a lot of women, man. Though social media help a lot of women and men make extra money and some good money. So a lot of women out here, they can make it happen. They can take you out on a date. They can wine and they can wine and dine you. They might even pay for that first date. They might even pay for that first date. But like I say, right now, what age bracket are we talking about? Right now, we're talking about the grown and six. What are the standards for the first date for men on the first date? Like, what won't we accept and what will we accept? Like dress code, the type of shoes. I don't know. Um, she hanging out and she know a bunch of individuals, men, women. I mean, just men, and she's speaking to every man that passes by. You know, and men seem to be impressed. Like I say, when a woman takes the man out on the first date and fronts the bill. And I don't know what is so significant about that. What is so significant about a woman paying the bill on the first date? Because that just has all the men feeling froggy. Like, oh, he did that. He won. He paid. She paid. He got a real one. And if that happened to me, if I was going out with a woman and she tried to pay for the first date, guess what? My antennas just went up. My antennas is up. My antennas tell me she is trying to put me in a trick bag or something. She's trying to give me a false sense of reality when she know this is not the expectations. The expectations is going to be totally opposite. She's giving that false sense of expectations when she know eventually she's going to expect the man to take care of the bills and be the man, etc. So a woman going out there and paying for the bill or on the first date is just that's temporary. That is not what she expect to do at all times. So you got to understand these tricks that's going on and the hidden agendas and so on and so forth. No, you can't fall for all those things. You know what I mean? But if you feel like that situation shows you that's the woman that you desire and the woman you can trust, all I can say is you got to go with your gut feeling, right? All I can say is you got to go with your gut feeling. But don't be tricked out here because this woman is paying for the date or the first 2-3 days. That ain't nothing but that could just be a simple trick. A simple trick. And then when she got you right where you wanted, you done fell for the okie doke. You think you got a winner, and she probably out here scamming. Ain't no telling what she got going on. She probably spending her settlement money from a divorce. Ain't no telling. And now she got you tricked, and now you wrapped up and you caught in her game. And it's just like that. That's how it go. That's how they play these games out here. That's how they go. Now, my first ever date, let me know when was y'all first ever date too. My first ever date, I can remember this vividly because it was my first ever date. And I was in middle school and I liked this girl so much. Obviously, we in sixth grade. I don't have a car. She don't have a car. We don't have license. So my mama took us. And this was back in the days when shit was real. We didn't have no air conditioning in the car. And guess how I had to pay for our date? I never forget this day. We went to the movies. It was off like Oakland out there, in Oakland and Federal back in the day, down here in South Florida. And we get to the register, and it's only like $5 or $6 for the tickets. But I don't got no money but a bunch of change. I mean, I pull out pennies, nickels, quarters, and all and throw them on there. But went on a date and got paid. I had a good time for the first experience. But when to pay with all coins on the first date, that was wild. I see you, Geneva Samuel. What's happening? Geneva Samuel in the building. Yeah, man. She know about this story, that first date. And guess what? That first date, my first date from the 6th grade, let me tell you, I'm in the courthouse fighting some cases. And I've seen her. She's still around doing good. I like to see that. People still doing good. Clap it up for the people still doing good out here. From back in the day, yeah. Yeah, she work at the courthouse doing good, man. A lot of people ain't doing good out here, man, moving and grooving. So that is that's a plus, man. That was my first ever date. Can I remember my second date? Nah, I was a little wild boy, man. I was a little wild boy, man. I was turned out, man. I got turned out a little early. Sorry to tell y'all that, but that was my first date. And then I had my first kid in high school. Then start being fruitful and multiply. Yeah, that's how it went. That's how it went. Say what needs to be said. It's Mr. Pick Six in the building. Man, y'all talk to me in the chat. I want to know about y'all first dating. How much y'all think y'all should spend, or how much a woman, a man, either or should spend on the first date? And I say the budget overall. Overall, for everyday working civilians, I say the budget should be like 150, 200. Two people, nah, I gotta go about 220. Well, it depends on where y'all go. I'm in South Florida. Inflation is high, the rent is high, everything is high down here. So it might cost a little more down here in South Florida. But that is very interesting, man. That is very interesting to see what people think about these first dates and what do you expect? Do you ever get to the date and you get to the table and the bill comes and it's a struggle for, nobody wants to pull out their wallet. It's like, I'm not paying, she not paying. Well, I pay my half and they pay their half. Man, y'all be creating some bad energy out here. Y'all got all that going on. Y'all don't know how to create energy and just vibe and live. Because one day all this stuff is going to be gone and all that stuff didn't matter. Just live in the moment, enjoy the moment. If you can afford it, you can stand it in your pockets. Enjoy the moment. That's what life is about. You don't have to have all these standards and issues. If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. You must stay within your means. Gotta live within your means. Can't be out here trying to impress somebody that you can't impress for the entire time of the relationship. I really firmly believe in that. Don't go out here and start flying private jets for a month and the other 11 months out of the year, you can't fly private jets. You understand? Well, I mean, if you want to do it one time and get a feel for it, but don't be out here, stunting and fronting like that's something you do every day when it's, just a temporary basis because of whatever. You know what I mean? So we're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to see Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. They play the Buffalo. They play Buffalo. Is it the University of Buffalo? No, they don't play Buffalo. I mean Cincinnati. What the hell am I talking about? Cincinnati versus Colorado Buffaloes, baby. Yeah, that's gonna be a game. Hope they still playing good. Shedeur Sanders is gonna go out there and light it up. Is he gonna have the limited Travis Hunter again? And is he gonna play better without Travis Hunter? Yes, because it's forcing him to be a quarterback and not depend on his favorite target. You understand what I'm saying? So Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, we might not be hearing that connection as much as we did before. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But they're doing good as a team because they're making all the right adjustments. And that is one part of it. Whether it happened on purpose or, it's God's will. So sometimes you got to follow the flow of life, the nature of life. You understand what I'm saying? And the Colorado Buffaloes look good, baby. I can't wait to see them against Cincinnati tomorrow. What is that? What is Cincinnati? Something Cats. Not Wildcats. I can't remember. What do y'all think Tua's gonna do? I ain't hear too much about Tua. I know I'm in South Florida. Surrounded by a lot of Dolphin fans. What are our expectations for Tua? I expect him to go out there and light it up. He's going to play well, but to me, he always been a little injury prone, and I want to know how long is he going to last and be able to survive? Because this game is very, very vicious, and it doesn't have no pity on nobody, as we've seen before. And yeah. Oh, how about y'all put in the chat? What was the football player name that just got shot in Denver? I want to talk about that too. Reynolds. What was his first name? The football player just got shot and leaving the strip club in Denver from the Denver Broncos. I think his last name was Reynolds. And y'all don't understand, man, the fears we have dealing with life as, as a very popular individual in life. I can't say we famous and everybody famous, but just going out and enjoying yourself, you must, what I like to say, stay dangerous. You have to stay dangerous at all times. You got to always be aware of your surroundings because it's life or death out here, especially as times get rough and, the people, the thing about life is, you have so many ignorant people that haven't experienced anything. Like, for instance, before I went to college, I was just straight in the neighborhood and I haven't really experienced anything. But when I went to college, I saw a bigger light of life. You understand? But if I didn't see that bigger light of life, I'd be around the neighborhood and think the neighborhood stuff. So you got to understand, when you made it, you're successful, and you're around these people that haven't seen anything, and what you have on look like it may change their life. It is very scary. It's very scary for us. And thank God I never went through none of those situations like that. Been shot, robbed, and so on and so forth. I protect myself. I move accordingly. And I think that's, like I say, you got to stay dangerous out here. And he got shot in the back of the head. And I hope it was just a graze or whatever it may be. All this is allegedly. It just came out. But the fact that stuff came out like a week later, what was that about? That was crazy. Thank God the young man wasn't hurt seriously, because, that would have been wild. That would have been wild. So, yeah, it's dangerous out here for us athletes trying to enjoy ourselves. Can't just be out here like a regular individual, think we're going to be all right. And it's not, because they coming and they gunning for us because they want what we got. And they think it's free. You know what I mean? In their eyes. But yeah, man, that's all we got for tonight, man. I can't wait to see how Tua does. We're going to be talking about that. The first thing, as soon as I get back on here, we're going to be talking about the Cincinnati Bearcats. There it is. I got it. Cincinnati Bearcats versus the Colorado Buffaloes. Can the Colorado Buffaloes do it again? Can they maintain? Is it fair for them to be in the Big 12 with all those athletes against those non-athletes? Yeah, it's fair. If that's the division they're in and that's the players they drafted. But I knew that was going to be an advantage, because Big 12, man, they lift a lot of weights. They get big and stiff and bulky. They not real athletic and agile. So, that's what's going on. Say what needs to be said. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Make sure y'all share. Tell your family members. Tell someone that you need to come on Say What Needs to Be Said, because he going to give it to you real raw and honest. You understand what I'm saying? It's Mr. Pick Six. It's much love with y'all tonight, Friday Night Vibes.